Hello, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another video. If you are new to this channel, my name is Frank Zhu, and I'm a college professor teaching sociology, history, and philosophy. I'm also an award-winning landscape photographer. We all want to be a good person, a moral person. And we all know that it is difficult to be good. And it is a fact that being good is much more difficult than being bad. But why should we still make great efforts to be good, or at least appear to be good? But first things first, what makes a good person? For most of us, the answer seems simple. Good people are those who are kind, helpful, altruistic, honest, respectful, law-abiding, and with an eagerness to make contributions to the community. However, such definition does not cover everything. Who is good also depends on whom you ask the question, because different people from different cultures at different times have different opinions, criteria, and judgments about a good person. For example, in Eastern cultures, good people are those who value social harmony and collective well-being more than themselves. While in the West, good people are those who adhere to rules and believe in fair play. Consequently, different people from different cultures have different reasons for being a good person. Religious people, for example, will base morality on religion. Believers in every religion are taught to behave in a certain way in order to be rewarded or punished. Thou shalt not steal, the Bible says to Christians. According to Christianity, those who behave well and do good deeds will go to heaven. Bad people will end up in hell. Hindus and Buddhists believe in reincarnation. For them, if you are immoral in this life, you will end up being in a miserable world in your next life. In other words, your next life is determined by how good or how bad you are in this life. Nowadays, of course, religion plays a less and less important role in many people's lives. Nonetheless, the word religion still conveys moral values for some people. Being religious equals to being good, even if they have no idea what it means to be religious. When these people say that they go to the church every Sunday, they are not saying that they go to the church for the purpose of praying or reading the Bible. What they are actually saying is that they are good people. Going to church is a symbol of being good. Religion for them is indeed the foundation for their personal morality, although this kind of foundation is obviously more psychological than logical in nature. Such a belief naturally leads to the assumption that if there is no religious basis for morality, then there is no basis at all. Of course, such an argument is not without challenges and criticisms. For example, some critics of this argument find it hard to agree because, in their view, this argument has one obvious limitation. It doesn't cover those who don't have any religious faith. Can we assume that people who are not religious are immoral people? Non-religious people have different arguments about morality, of course. One of them is based on a theory that focuses on self-interest, known as egoism. According to this argument, if everyone tries to do and be good and tries to avoid and prevent bad, it would be in everyone's self-interest. Imagine a group in which no one killed, stole, lied, or cheated. Then each member of the group would benefit. Everyone in the group would say, "It's in my best self-interest to do good and be good, because otherwise I would suffer." A similarly egoistic argument is that if I'm a good person, I will be respected and trusted by other people, which will make me feel good. Supporters of this argument claim that egoism is quite a compelling argument about human morality. However, this theory is not without critics. Some people challenge this theory by pointing out that selfishness is in fact the cause of immoral behavior. If you are self-centered and always think about yourself, you won't do anything for others. Therefore, egoism is really not a good reason why people should be moral. Another theory about morality looks at it from the viewpoint of tradition and law. According to this theory, human behavior has been guided and regulated by traditions and laws throughout history. Traditions and laws have taught people to be good rather than bad. Advocates for this theory claim that there must be good reasons for being good because the traditions and the laws have been taught and followed for thousands of years. Therefore, we should show respect to traditions and laws and therefore be moral. Many people find this theory reasonable because it reminds them of their childhood days. Your parents told you to behave in a certain way and said to you, "Don't ask why. That's what we are all supposed to do in our family." So, the family traditions are your moral basis. However, this theory also faces criticisms. One criticism, for example, is that not all traditions teach people to behave morally. Some traditions, such as female genital mutilation, is widely considered as extremely immoral. Still another argument is based on human nature. According to this argument, human beings are by nature rational social animals. We have a lot in common as human beings. For example, people generally need friendship, love, happiness, peace, and stability, not only for themselves, but for others, because it is the same society we all live in. Therefore, in order to satisfy all these needs, all human beings should follow certain moral principles so that they don't fear one another for their lives or property, and they can cooperate with one another to achieve their common goals. In one word, human beings should be moral because of our needs and our recognition of the importance of living together. However, critics argue that human beings were born neutral and without any moral standards. It is a society that imposes its moral values on them. Some of these values may not be moral. For example, to be successful and to be rich is valued greatly by society, but some people achieve success and get rich at the expense of other people. For those of us who don't care about theories or philosophical arguments, there are practical reasons why we should be good. One reason is that the consequences of doing good are more favorable than those of not doing good. For example, children are aware that being good means obeying the parents, and by being good, they gain parental approval and avoid punishment. This awareness of consequence is not limited to children, of course. For adults, being good means being a good member of community or a good citizen, which means obeying the law, paying taxes, participating in local governance, etc. As such, we gain the approval of our fellow citizens and avoid their scorn, not to mention avoiding fines and the possibility of jail sentences. For those adults with a more mature mind, being good means obeying one's conscience, which means using our intellect to judge an action as right or wrong, and directing the will to do the good and avoid the bad. By being good, we gain a sense of uprightness, respectability, and we avoid having a sense of guilt and shame. Well, I think that is all for today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.